the show for which I produced the CD, Quidam, had already been presented on stage. And the kinks had been worked out, and they were ready to have a CD released with the music on it. And this was some 10 months into the process or something like that. At the time, I was doing quite a lot of work in Montreal on different francophone albums up there, and so they got wind of me as a producer, arranger, orchestrator, and I spoke with them about it, and it seemed to be just a perfect fit. I mean, they needed somebody to oversee the production, which was pretty complex. It would flow from solo vocalist to big orchestra to big choir to these exotic instruments, just all over the map, you know. And one of my mandates when I accepted the job to produce Quidam was the Cirque said, you know, we want you to go out into Montreal and we want you to seek out exotic musicians, exotic instruments and things. And so I did. I went out all over Montreal. One day when I was in the one of the Montreal metro stations, I heard this beautiful sound coming down one of the halls. So I went down to explore, and it turned out to be what I later found was a fellow playing a Japanese eru, and so I hired him on the spot to come in to do something on the Cirque record, and that was basically what I did to put together the record. I used a rhythm section. I used the kitchen sink on that, and every side is completely different. I was working with a very talented music writer, Benoit Jutras, and Benoit wrote the bed music for it. I ended up writing a lot of the arrangements and the orchestrations. But one of the things that Benoit had written was a string quartet in a little section of one of the songs. It was a hard rock song. I don't know what was going on in the circus at the time, but probably some pretty heavy duty stuff, like a lot of aerial acts and flying all around all over the place, and maybe some fire eaters or something. But it was pretty crazy. It was rock, and in the middle there was this really laid back section where there was a string quartet playing. And so I said to the eru player, I said, do you read Western music? He said, oh yeah, I do. So I took the parts to the string quartet, and he played 4 erus instead of the string quartet, and it was beautiful. And that was one of my highest moments, you know, one of my memories of the Cirque returned to me.